All right,
We'll skip it.
I'll wing it. All right, 12:02. Call the meeting to order at 12:02. Opening invocation and pledge of allegiance. Dear God, thank you for bringing us all here today safely. Thank you for allowing us to collectively help our community to the best of our efforts and as a team. Please guide us and allow us to continue to do the work of our residents and the people. And in your name, amen.
Amen.
All right, pledge of allegiance.
I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America, to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. On one flag, I pledge allegiance to thee, Texas, one state, under God, one and indivisible.
Everyone. So I do dinner time, short and to the point.
Short and sweet.
All right, receive comments from the public. Public, any comments? All right. Receive president or director comments. Any comments?
Nope.
All right, guys. Consider an act on request for adjustments to or relief from specific charges imposed by the district. All right, thank you. Consent agenda, 6 through 10. Is there anything you'd like to remove before we get a motion to approve it? Anyone? All right. Can I get a motion to approve the consent agenda 6 through 10, please?
I'll make a motion to approve the consent agenda 6 through 10.
I second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Opposed? All right. Regular agenda, receive the regular monthly SGRA Woodlands Division report.
Well, our report begins on page 19 in your packet. Pretty standard month, no violations, nothing out of the ordinary. We closed the AC water line project because it's been completed, but besides that, I don't have anything to add. Be happy to answer anything y'all do have.
Thing looks normal.
Mhm.
I'm good. All right. Thank you, sir.
Okay.
Consider an act on pay application number 6 for the retail wastewater collection system rehabilitation year 2.
Yes, 139 actually doesn't have any work that was done in this particular estimate, so no action on this item. The next item also associated with this project is change order number 2, which we do need approval on, and that is change order to add time to the project. Project extension will take it to June. They believe they'll be finished. So I need approval of estimate number 2 or extension of 90 days on the contract.
This is for the estimate on the,
Sanitary sewer project.
cool. Well, I'd love for them to not need an extension, but if they need it, they need it. So we need to, get the results.
Is the change order money or is it time? So it's just
To extend the,
we're just, it's not an additional outlay of funds. It's just the original end date is no longer, yeah, all right. So it's $0 change order just to move the scope time. Right.
At least it's time and not money. So. Okay, can I get a motion? Sorry, you need a motion, Eric, specifically for what?
change order number 2.
So motion to approve change order number 2.
Correct.
All right, can I get a motion to approve change order number 2, please?
Okay, I'll make a motion to approve change order number 2.
Can I get a second? All in favor?
Aye.
All opposed? All right, thank you. Receive and discuss supplemental agreement with SGRA for issuance of bonds in connection with Tier 1 water line renewal projects.
There's a handout that's available up, if you don't have it, it looks like this. And then in your packet, there's a corresponding supplemental agreement draft. On this document, this is the timeline for the 5 Tier 1 and Tier 2 projects that came from the HDR waterline renewal, condition-based assessment project that was completed, last fall. And so, this is the, 10-year timeline, which spells out specifically, which is tied to this supplemental agreement to, look at approving the first two projects, which are the two tier one projects. That was Town Center, which is mostly designed, but has a little redesign and some land acquisitions left. And then to start on the design and construction of the second project, which is Woodlands Parkway. The proposition would, for the supplemental agreement would to not include, if you recall, when we talked about the projects, there were these spurs or, offshoots of the main line that were going to be, looked at in the future to determine whether or not those would be added or not in each of the projects. For the first two projects, those would not be included. And then as you can see in further years, you said, so the line items that say supplemental
lines.
that's those extra spurs that
Oh,
were originally recommended, but we'll be looking at, I think, at year 5. Let's see if they need to be added to the base project. So this is to look at, yes, the tenure of all 5 projects, but the supplemental is really for those first 2 projects, which were the tier 1 projects.
So you're saying that there is a project scope for Woodlands Parkway supplemental, but it's not what we're looking at.
It will be looked at, and see in the third line down on the top box, in year 2030, there's 1,275,000 is that first number. That's when, and the red numbers are engineering and or land acquisition. So that's when that would start coming into play.
Just reacting to the designation as a something tier 1 project, but it's deferred.
That particular one will likely be pushed to tier 2, theoretically. But it wouldn't be included in these 2 bond issues. So the 2 bond issues would be 28.7 there and 27.1. The pages behind this the spreadsheet, item put together debt performas on those 2 bond issues. So the 28.7 would require about a $32 million bond issue. And then the 27 would require about a $30 million bond issue. Again, this is across all 10 modes. And so the supplemental agreement that's before you in the packet is the draft that would allow, that would authorize SBA to proceed with selling bonds in the future to start rolling on these projects done.
Any numbers yet on how this is going to be paid for?
Yes, so the initial numbers that Adam came up with for instance, on the 32 million, that would result in about a 47-cent wholesale water rate that would be required to cover that debt. And so at the average water bill in the Woodlands is 10,000 gallons. So on that, it'd be about $4.70 increase on the water bill per month. For every 32 million roughly.
Right. Yeah, I mean, it's what we talked about. Town Center had already been designed, so we're taking care of that one first. The other ones are important, but those require more work to get up to speed. It's interesting to see Trade Center in 2032 that it's kind of so far out, but it's not critical because we have the loop now and we have infrastructure to take care of that. Certainly something we've invested in interested in getting done in our neighborhood, but we've done the diligence to make sure that we're not going to lose water.
Yes, and when these are timed out is consistent with the HDR report on kind of how they were tiered and how they would be, timed out. So
And the debt service is 20-year bonds.
a 25-year bond.
20, the contract allows for up to, on the outer bounds, up to 25-year term for either series of bonds. These numbers here, the number runs are based on a 20-year term, which is under the maximum.
So there's no action to be made to this month, but
There's no debt that the MUDs are taking on. It's just it's the bill, the cost is being ran through their water bill rather than directly through the MUD.
Right.
As generated with no revenue bonds based on that revenue stream coming
Okay.
from the woodlands.
But it's just smeared across everybody's,
Yeah.
every
So,
consumer.
so it's not, the MUDs don't have to do anything by holding our own bonds. It's all through SGRE.
Not impacting our debt rating, specifically the bond, month 39.
Okay. Cool.
So you said there's no action. When is there action expected here?
so likely we'll, if you're okay, likely we'll put this on the agenda next month with discuss and take or take action
Okay.
type of language, which will allow you to take action at that point, if you so choose.
Yeah, my preference would be to have all 5 directors present. but Should have both.
It's a big.
So I'm fine with that, Eric.
Sounds good. All right, so. Uh, 15.
Yes, 15. The past probably 5 or 6 months, Kim and I have been going through, we were tasked by the directors to go through and this, I'm referring to the map and the corresponding sheet that goes with it. So we were tasked to go through all the parcels within service area number 1, which serves treatment plant number 1, to do an audit of the allocations, make sure that lots probably changed since the 6th and final. In doing so, we created a modern day Esri GIS database that we'll be able to utilize in the future for long-term planning on capacities, et cetera, as things develop and change and redevelop and things like that. We'll do what we did here and expand and finish the rest of the woodlands. But for this, we were tasked to just focus on service area number 1, because it was the question that came up, I think, in the Allmuds meetings was, are we at the right sizing of that plant? And let's at least verify those. So you can kind of see on the 1-pager there, kind of what the 6th and final analysis looked like in terms of overall SFDUEs. What was utilized in the Freese and Nichols report in 2024, and that was,
So long ago.
yeah, that's the report. And then modern. So it went up a little bit in terms of some of the undeveloped need. And then at the bottom, I just put in some more historical information on, what the plant's been running and what the plant would look like, at least at those design 217 and 200. The average over the last few years has been in the 150s, but the state won't allow you to design to the minimum or to the average. So they'll likely require, if there is a re-rating, they'd likely require something higher, closer to 200. But next step would likely be SJ to come back to you with a recommendation on getting Carollo re-engaged on the analysis, perhaps looking at capacity as well at that point and finish up their evaluation.
Eric, what's the level? Just for my own just curiosity, what was the level of effort of updating all this? How long did it take you guys?
6 months,
Yeah.
significant. It was significant. A lot of hours.
I don't want to downplay that at all. I mean, I think.
So the current SFDUE number is 200.
No, the current plant's at 217. F&I was proposing at that time 200 based on, at that point, what the recent highs were at the plants, which were both happened in 2016. 2016 high was 191, and that's gallons per day per connection, per single family connection is what that equates to. That's 217. And it was 191, and then the high at plant 2 was 200.
Yeah.
So that's why they had chosen 200 at that time.
I mean, I think I think our community has changed a lot since then, because in to 2024, we were emerging from COVID and the towers were pretty empty after Anadarko had left. And people are trying to figure out, are we working from home or are people ever going to come back? And it looks like some have come back, but there's still a lot of empty buildings.
Yeah, the latest report from the EDP and the chamber was about 14% vacancy across the Woodlands. That's office, retail, et cetera. So that's the number we used.
Yeah.
And as far as the highs, the Freeze Nichols was using the flows from 2015 through 2023. That's what they used for their evaluation. And 15, 16, and 17 were compared to, 18, 19, and to 23 were significantly higher.
Yep.
If you recall what occurred in those 3 years, Memorial Day, Memorial and Tax Day the next year, and then Harvey the next year. And so we can't ignore that those types of events have occurred and will occur again. So that will need to be taken into consideration as part of the design, but because we do have, some high inflow and infiltration in the systems that do, raise those numbers, but they'll take that into consideration.
For plant number 1, is there any like large overflow container still in the plans for that at all?
I don't know. That's for the engineers to figure out.
Cool. All right. Thank you.
Good job.
Yeah. It's a lot of cul-de-sacs.
That was the easy part. The single family is 1-to-1. It was all the other colors.
No, the paints and
Trying to put those together
Yeah.
was the difficult part.
Good job. All right, 16, Brian.
No journal items under the attorney's report today. Need to cover the next item.
Yeah.
Supplemental agenda. So, as you know, we talked about last month, the district does not have a contested election. Sean and Chris, congratulations, 4 more years. Need to adopt the-
thank you.
Congratulations.
need to adopt the order, confirming that the election is uncontested, canceling the election, and declaring our incumbents reelected.
It sounds like a motion that needs to be made.
All right, can you list those items out again?
Is to take action on the supplemental agenda to adopt the order, canceling the election, and declaring the incumbents reelected.
Can I get a motion from one of y'all who didn't just get elected? And then we'll vote.
Go ahead, Kathy. I'm not going to stumble over my words again.
It's always a test.
Okay, so I make a motion on the supplemental agenda regarding cancellation of the May 2nd, 2026 director's election.
That's okay.
I did that.
All in favor?
Hi.
All opposed? All right.
That would be really funny if you opposed your. I was drafted.
Cool.
Nothing on item 18 at this time.
Thank you. 19, you're up.
All right. Everybody, you got one, Brian. I think you came a little later. You thought for you. All right, for the engineer's report for this month. Just to kind of go through for everything that's currently in design. We have the Woodlands Village of Sterling Ridge west of FM 2978, the lift station. Design, we're getting close to wrapping that up and getting those submitted for permit reviews, and shortly thereafter we'll be working on getting things advertised. We'll hopefully have that on either this meeting or next month's agenda or the following, just to give you all an update on what's going on with that lift station. Second project that will be brought up here today is for the water, sanitary sewer, and drainage to serve Trade Center sections 14, 15, and parcel T2A. We have gone through advertising for bid earlier this month, March 3rd and March 10th respectively, and we anticipate having bid openings later this week on the 20th. And then finally, and then coming up on the heels of that project will be the sanitary lift station to serve those same sections. Again, just like the Sterling Ridge lift station, same process. We'll be getting those submitted for permit and should be bidding those out shortly thereafter.
Is it, when we say trade center sections 14, 15 and parcel T2A, is that the new
Sewell.
development?
That's for Sewell. Yeah, that's the car dealership.
Oh, okay.
Just making sure,
Yes, sir.
how we're designated that part of the trade center. Okay.
So no action items at this time. Just wanted to give you all updates on those for the design. And then last month, we got we recommended the award for the detention pond for the Woodlands Village of Sterling Ridge. So that project construction should begin soon. I think we're wrapping up all of our contract documents with Howard Hughes and the contractor Double Oak Construction. So hopefully in the next couple meetings, we'll give you more updates. So that's all for now. So have any other questions?
Thank
Yeah.
Okay, 20, receive developers report and authorize any action necessary in connection therewith.
Everybody,
Hey.
see you again. Got a little PowerPoint for you today. We're gonna talk about the Sewell track and
There
our
we go.
utilities that are being built for those guys and the balance of your property. So this is the last of the commercial property within your district that is to be developed. So we're gonna talk about this project will take us to completely develop. Got a caveat I'm gonna tell you about in just a second, but we'll get to that in a second. I'm not gonna read all this for you. There's a lot of words up there. We can certainly provide you with hard copies of this if you want to take it back. And we're not asking for any action items today, but we will be asking for an action item next time. The project area, you can see MUD 39 is all the area in pink east of I-45. The area that we're concerned about has blue lines around the orange. We have orange on the west side of I-45. Please ignore that. That is not supposed to be there. And the two orange parcels, the two big orange parcels and the two little orange parcels just south of there are the areas that are going to be impacted by the utilities we're developing on this project. Okay. It's about 69 acres. The improvements that are being proposed for reimbursement are a lift station that's already been mentioned and some water, sewer and drainage facilities. And our current estimate for that is about 2.14 million. It matters to you guys because it's going to add about $100 million in AV to your district. So the taxes these guys pay will help you in the future as we continue to develop. Sewell is our first sale up there, and they're going to bring a large number to the tax roll. And Adam can talk about individual parcels up there if you want him to. Utilities are sized for long-term district growth, not just the Sewell tract. And we'd like to lock in a utility agreement with you guys, between us and you guys, to govern and fund this facility. And that's all I want to say on this slide. Let's move on to the next one. Those are the parcels that are a little clearer here than they were on the previous one. You know where they are. They're all on I-45 for the most part. The thing you see that's developed up there already is the fire station training center. Yeah. And we extended a water line and sewer line to them, I guess, about 10 or 15 years ago. And so this is just an extension of those facilities to serve the balance of that tract over there.
Question,
Shoot.
1C and 1D. So is that, how is that
They're
access?
already served with water and sewer. I've included them in this analysis because they're parcels that are left to be sold and to be developed in your district. And they're currently served by a dead end water line.
Got it.
So this water line that we're going to extend all the way around, well, in the picture that you see where it says water line on I-45. So we're going to loop the water line. That was specifically at the Woodlands Water request. We think it's a good idea too. We don't want the fire station folks to be on a dead end line any longer either. And I'm sure they don't either. So it's good for the township. It's good for the district to have a looped water line. So that's why we included those parcels.
1C and 1D is the property that when you're going down the road to the emergency station on the right-hand side, that open area, or?
No, I think that's
It's on.
Boulevard as you turn right off the front.
That's right.
Oh.
It's the front. So we've got distribution behind.
Yep.
Right.
Bill Eckers and now it's the CVS
This
distribution
is
center.
in front of them, right?
There are two commercial pads that are still viable there.
Wow.
And we do intend to develop those at some point in time.
It's all land.
It is. It is. Of course, we'll have all of our typical standards on those as we do everything else. Any questions on where the water line and lift station and sewer lines are going? Okay, next slide. It's a rendering. Don't hold us to this. Okay, this is what they gave us. It's Sewell. It's going to be nice.
Yeah, aesthetically it jives with the Mercedes and
Yeah. Sure, there's going to be some back and forth on the architecture, but that's what was that's what we've got right now.
It's not a Billy Bob's honky tonk or anything.
Yeah, well, yeah. Okay, next slide. This is consistent with our historical practice for you guys. Well, first I want to tell you guys, happy birthday. This January, you will be 50 years old. Your district was created 50 years ago, so
Wow.
the development company has been doing business with you guys longer than my engineers know why.
I'm not.
Maybe some others in the room too. I don't know. Maybe some others.
My heart.
Yeah.
Don't tell them we're included in that, okay, Sean?
They are included.
I know.
So
I've got shoes
what
on.
we do is we build facilities and you reimburse us as you're financially able to do so. The district will reimburse us through bonds. You don't have to reimburse us through bond. You can reimburse us through other methods if you want to. What you get is after you paid us back for the facilities, you keep collecting taxes off that property forever. So that's a good thing. And we're going to commit to you guys that we are not going to allow you to increase your tax rate as a result of anything you do with us. Okay. So your financial guy will, Adam will walk you through that if you want him to, but we'll talk a little bit more about the money on the next slide.
Okay.
So this slide is absolutely remarkable. And it's true for almost every district in the Woodlands. I live in a district that's not in the Woodlands. It's been around for 40-something years. Our tax rate is still about 40 cents. Adam can attest to all the districts he works with. And he says the Woodlands are the anomaly in our industry. If you have less than a 20-cent tax rate, that is ridiculously low. And you guys you're going to be going lower than 14 as soon as you can, because you want to take your tax rate down as quickly as you can to lower your taxes. That's a good thing for everybody. But historically, what has happened here is just absolutely amazing. You started at 90 cents. We only went back to 1993 here. We didn't go back to the beginning of time. But since 1993, you can see how your AV has exploded and how your tax rate has just dropped off the chart. Okay. At the 14-cent tax rate that you currently have, I'm in the second bullet point here, with the AV that we will be creating there, you can support a bond somewhere between $2 and $2.27 million. And that's at a ratio, that's at an interest rate of 4.5 to 5.5%. That's probably a little high. Adam may say it's a little bit lower than that right now. The Trade Center project continues this pattern by adding AV, the parcel we already talked about. When I work in districts in Ridgeland, if we have a 10-to-1 ratio on a AV to debt, that's an incredibly good ratio. That means the developer's doing a really good job. He's going to have 10-to-1 ratio. This particular project generates almost a 60-to-1 debt ratio. That's because you're in such good shape financially. There's a whole bunch of little numbers over on the right-hand side. If you want me to explain this to you, I can. But what it basically says is your value has exploded. And it's for good reason. We're a very popular place to be, and the value of your property is continuing to go up. In addition to the new things we're building. If after we build this, it'd be going to be really, really close to the number. It's going to be almost $1 billion in AV. Little Mud 39. After we develop all this property,
Stepsister.
it's going to have close to $1 billion in assessed value. So it's a success story, and the success story is true of a lot of the muds in the woodland.
Yeah.
But I think you guys are knocked out.
The column, the vertical column on the left, I apologize, I lost my glasses.
Taxable value.
Yeah.
What is the number at the top? The top left on the chart?
Oh, that's millions.
800? Okay,
That's
thank you.
8, 6, 4, and then 2.
So you can see where things kind of hockey sticked was right around 2000 when we started building out Harper's Landing.
Yep, exactly right.
I understand the math, I just can't read it.
Okay,
So,
okay. Well, the taxable value is on the left
yeah,
axis. And the right axis is your tax rate.
cool.
And the bottom axis is your years.
Right.
Yeah, you can get this to Shelley to probably do with that.
Yeah, we'd love that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
This is an important story to tell.
And
For the
yeah.
benefit of everyone that watches this after the fact, kudos.
Yeah,
But
it really, really is. If your district were a typical district and your AV hadn't grown so quickly and your value hadn't increased so dramatically, you've got an incredible partner with SJRA. I mean, the way the system works in the Woodlands is unlike any of them that I'm familiar with. It's extremely efficient. So I'm gonna give hats off to Woodland Water. I'm gonna take hats off to SJRA as well. We're in a pretty good spot.
So you're gonna need a check for how much? 2 point what?
Well, I think we're gonna ask you guys in the development agreement for about 2.5.
About 2.5.
It depends on what the bid comes in at and some other things.
When do you need that?
I want it to be based on when you can afford to pay me back, assuming you do not, you will not increase your tax rate.
Right.
Okay,
so that's what the significance of the math talking about right
Yeah.
now, that
Yeah.
without,
Yeah, typically when the land improvements occur, that hits the tax, the tax.
when they
bills.
begin or when they
No,
complete.
It usually comes in January 1.
Okay.
So as of January 1, depending if it's mid development, then, you know, MCAD will assess some valuation to it. But once
Yeah, I
it's
mean,
fully developed,
It's gonna feel like these properties did where y'all put in the infrastructure and then over time there were more developments and we wrote a check. This is just a bigger check.
Yeah.
The process is the same.
it just, commercial happens faster than
Yeah,
residential. just 'cause,
yeah,
you know, once
it's not incremental.
Once the building is built and the inventory is there, particularly on a car dealership, it's gonna go really quick as far as the value goes.
Yeah.
yeah. Taxable footprint. Next slide.
What do we keep in cash right now, roughly?
Where did I put the asterisk? I want to go back to the asterisk. Okay. There it is, okay. Improvements proposed for reimbursement. I do want to make one thing clear to you guys. And, go to the next slide, please. So do you see parcel T2? Okay, we're extending a storm sewer line to serve parcel T2. From the ditch to the big trade center ditch, across the road that serves the fire station site. We're taking a sanitary sewer line there, we're taking a water line there, we're taking a storm sewer line there. So T2 will be completely served. At some point in time, T2 may be subdivided into multiple parcels. I don't know. But if it is subdivided, there may be additional district buildings at that time. I just wanted you to be aware of that.
So the
I
only
don't
thing,
think it's gonna happen in my lifetime, but it might.
so the only thing Sewell is getting is T1A.
T1A, and they have an option on T1B.
What is currently T2? I'm trying to just,
It's just land. It's trees.
what's between T1A and T2?
That's the ditch, the trade center ditch.
Oh,
That's the biggest thing you see there.
Around towards.
Yeah, let me come point to it right quick. Let me clear everybody. So this is the big trade center ditch. It's about 300 feet wide. This is the fire station training center. And this is land that the state has for detention purposes, for the improvements they made that 45 years and years ago.
Okay.
And here's where Sewell is, option here, and this is the parcel to be sold and developed.
Yeah.
We're putting in the utilities to serve we may sell it as one track and they're served in good. All right. And we're done, that's it.
Chop it up.
But the water line may need to be extended one day, the sewer line may need to be extended one day.
And in your mind, 1C and 1D would go before that.
I'm not the sales guy, I never know, Sewell kind of caught me so by surprise.
Who's buying, who's selling?
Yeah, I just don't know where the market is going on that commercial stuff.
Yeah, that's a big parcel. You never know.
Big, oh yeah, it's big.
20 acres.
All right,
How big is T2?
the whole thing is 60.
Okay.
So probably half of that.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't have anything, there's no motion, is that correct today? You're gonna bring back a agreement next time for them to consider?
Yeah, so if the board.
That's the draft that we're seeing.
Well, you don't have it in here
Okay.
today. So if y'all want to move forward, we had a reimbursement agreement called a utility development agreement for the property that is in the defined area. But that was just specific to the defined area. So you would need a separate one as to all these tracks here. Now.
Can we think about it? Is there time to discuss? Like when Keith is here as well?
Absolutely.
Yeah, we're just talking about what would be on next month's agenda for discussion and consider if y'all want to put an item on next month's agenda. I think the direction I need from y'all is A, do you want to put that on there, have me prepare something, and B, if so, the tracks that are to be developed are here. What Dan is asking is for the reimbursement metric to be so long as your debt service rate doesn't increase, and the T1A track, which is the Sewell track, is that development on that track is completed, then the district would issue bonds to reimburse for infrastructure, so long as the district's then current debt service rate did not go up.
Okay. I like the idea. But I'd like to also get some information from Eric as well, or Eric's team, on if there's any more information on the damage on the ditch, on just some of the other things we have coming in. Because if this doesn't make us raise, but other pieces do, the residents see the overall rate raising, but we have debt coming down in other areas. We're potentially adding debt here. We're at a great financial position, but I just want to make sure that cumulatively, from all angles, we don't sign one thing and think everything's great, and then we get another report in the summer or in the fall and then realize, oh, this, was maybe a bit much. So I just would love to get a broader view of all the income and expenses from these large projects like this one, the ditch, and then unexpected costs that y'all see coming in from like the wastewater pipes or anything like that would throw this off from and I would say purely from a resident feel, because again, they're not going to say, well, man, that Sewell dealership is awesome, but man, that pipe really just broke the budget. They're just going to say they raised my taxes. And so I want to be able to understand it from every angle.
Yeah, so to be clear, I think, and just tell me if I'm completely wrong, it's not that we're not willing to consider moving forward at all. I think it's just wanting to make sure we're making as an informed decision, considering all the variables, because we're going to write checks, and those checks are going to be funded out of cash reserves or immediate.
It would be from a bond issue. So
This would be
this
separate
would only
from all
be
the stuff you're
bond issue.
talking about.
Okay.
This would not be
Difference
cash.
between-
This would not be cash out of hand. This would be once.
Strategic investment.
Once the T1A track is developed, then if the then current debt service tax rate could support a bond issue to reimburse all the infrastructure, then a bond issue would be, closed that would result in the district receiving funds from the bond issuer. Those funds would then be paid to the developer, not cash monies.
Is there any idea on what that bond would feel like for residents? The general idea sounds great. I just,
Yeah.
I mean, this is why I'm on the board. So,
Just ask the questions.
what, any idea on
It would
what the
be,
bond would feel like?
it's about a $2.5 million bond issue. And what that would look like, you currently have 14.5 cents. You do have a debt cliff coming. So your debt service tax rate could go down pretty significantly. This would mean that it would go, I think from 14.5, the last time I looked, you were able to go to 5.5 cents in the next year or two.
At the
That
cliff?
would, at the cliff, and that would mean you would end up at around 6 cents instead of 6 or 6.5 cents instead.
Before this or after this.
So after this, so
So even with this coming into the mix,
Yes,
But with the
because
debt service that's being
rolling.
retired, it's just eating into the cliff a little bit. It's just ticking back up. So instead of 5 or a
Right.
net 8 or whatever, it would be
So currently we're at 4.5 or 14.5, sorry, 14.5.
understood. Yeah.
The cliff will bring us down to the 5s.
6.
This will bring us up to the 6s.
Yeah.
And then whatever happens on the ditch and
Yeah,
wastewater
operating
is completely different.
Yeah, when we get to that cliff, it will be up to you guys.
How
When we
we-
talk tax rate, do you want to lower the overall tax rate? Or do you want to, or need to shift pennies over to operate?
Incrementally do it in a
Right.
way
You
that
know, part of that could be, you're not obligated to sell the full 2.5 million, maybe you need a few pennies over. And then say, I'm gonna pay, half of it in cash and I'll bond finance the other half. That's
Right.
it's completely up to you on how.
So to the public, moving money from the checking account to the savings account, awaiting for a big expense to happen. Understood.
I mean, cash is always better than bond financing. It's cheaper. Sure.
Yeah.
It's just what,
I mean, we're also a little district as well. We're very solvent financially, but we're little. So we don't have.
You're $1 billion little.
well, we're about to get a little bigger. I like that.
Some of that strategy you can kind of touch on a little bit later. I mean, with the limits that we have now with developed district, cash is always king, but it's even more so now with the inability to be able to replenish a operating reserve because of the limitations on your ability to increase as a developed district when you get to that point.
The cap.
So, correct. So that usually cuts in favor of, issuing bonds to pay for something like this, so you can keep your cash for other things that go bump.
Rainy days.
They do.
Correct.
the most important reason to consider shifting pennies over when you do have a debt cliff, because it allows you not to skirt Senate Bill 2, but your overall, as long as your overall tax bill doesn't go up more than 3.5%. And in that case, if you're able to lower your debt service tax rate and shift pennies over and still maintain the 3.5% increase year over year, it allows you to have more freedom with your operating revenue.
So what is the bill? Senate Bill 2?
Senate Bill 2.
Yeah, and you are one of the few that are still developing for now. There's only 3.
Right.
That's looked at each year by the engineer. I know the 2026 designation hasn't been made yet. LGA is looking at that, but it's only a matter of time before it's set to develop. Yeah, and you're in the same boat as most of the other mutts in the woods.
Fully developed.
You're almost fully developed.
That's key. Almost versus we want to stay in.
There's a
Yeah, the
there's
metric
a
is
critical mass
95%.
where it's never 100%. It's
Well, it's 95% or more of your infrastructure necessary to serve full development.
After Sewell,
This can push us over.
after Sewell.
You also have the other parcels that we added to your.
Well, yeah, I know, you're right.
Oh,
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that helps with the, okay,
You'll still be developing for a little bit.
okay. But I think to bringing it back full circle to your point, I mean, putting something on the agenda we don't have to take immediate action on it. It just puts it out there. Because I do think we need to have it as a placeholder to prompt the discussion and to make it open forum for us to have these conversations, including Keith and others that are here today.
I'm all in favor of discussion. I want it to go smooth and easy because there were some misnomers about when we did the additional parcels. And that did not go over smooth. So I hope that with better discussions that we're having now and better communication, that's not going to be an issue.
Well, I think it can also drive community awareness. I mean, get people here and listen to it or say they should pay attention if they're curious.
That's best efforts basis. We had a meeting in the park and no one showed up.
Yeah.
It was internet.
But it's not for the lack of trying.
Yeah. So, I mean, it was literally in the neighborhood at the park and no one showed up. So I would welcome people to show up, please. Cool. Thank you very much.
Thanks for your consideration. We'll be back next month and you're asking good questions. Y'all need to keep well informed.
Yes.
But
Thank you, Dan.
but for us, it should be pretty much standard business.
Awesome.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you, everyone, for answering all our questions and concerns.
You have good questions.
Those 21 receive and or act on general manager's report.
Okay, just a couple things to go through. That was a good segue into my first topic, which starts on page 72. Packet 72 and 73 are some diagrams that we update every couple of years. We use in presentations and such, kind of showing how the Woodlands muds relate to the rest of the world in this area. So on 72, you'll see kind of where the average water bill relates to other municipalities in the region. And then more specifically to what Dan was talking about is on page 73, which is those orange bars there are all of the Woodlands muds tax rates. So that 14 cents is there. And
Which one is us?
You're the second or third one from the right, I believe,
Oh,
of the orange. Yep, so that's kind of where we sit. Let's see, next item I had, just wanted to, I think last month I had mentioned that we had hired a few new guys and they were about to start. And so they've started, we've onboarded them, going through training, and they're actually starting to work on the ditches throughout the Woodlands. So
Maintenance stuff.
that's definitely going to pick up here in the next few months. And at the first mowing of the year is going to occur in next month in April. So you'll see that come through. That's a quarterly mowing that we do every year. So that's April's the first mowing of the year. Also wanted to mention that we are in the middle of our annual flushing. So we go through various areas of the system and do systematic flushing just for the water system maintenance. So that you'll see, if you see some hydrants flowing, that's what it's for. That's all I had for my major items on the GM report. John, we'll kick to John for communications.
Afternoon, page 68 for your communications report. That first item there, you can see our points of emphasis for the previous month. One of those being the MUD annual updates. So we've been working on those, right? Of course, last couple months. Those went out via e-blast, social media, and attached to the paper bill. If you opened your paper bill, you didn't see yours. Yeah, there were 4 MUDs. We were unable to attach that update to this round. We will again next round. The reason being, we were informed 2 days before printing from the printer that they have a max capacity of number of different attachments you can push out at one time. So you were one of those unfortunate 4. Again, that will go out next month, and we are working with them to get this resolved going forward, so we won't have that cap next time. So another point of emphasis has been our community survey. So this is something we do annually to gauge knowledge and favorability levels amongst the general public. If you haven't gone through that survey, you can QR that right there. It's also on our homepage website. We will have that wrapped up in about a week, and I'll bring the findings to you next round. Examples of some current communication pieces on the next couple rounds. I wanted to zero in on that Woodlands Community Magazine article on the bottom, page 70. That's out now.
Where is it?
On page 70.
Oh, right here.
Oh, thank you.
We're just seeing what it looks like.
So that article talked about what a great job we did last year, we being the community on our wise water use. So we had 32% less precipitation last year than 2024. We only used 2% more water.
Wow.
So, great job to the community there. Yeah. We're starting out pretty dry again this year, so hopefully we can hold to that.
Yeah.
And then you have an in-person outreach calendar at the page, about on page 71. Any questions?
Saw an art contest being promoted today.
Yeah, that's happening now. Lots going on.
Awesome.
Thank you.
Back to business.
Thank you. Yeah, thank you. Receive and discuss proposed SGRA GRP global amendment to the GRP contract.
Yes, so we had a meeting a few weeks ago. Aubrey Springer attended with his team to kind of give us some insight into kind of what they were dealing with during the settlement. Also some insight into what the global amendment kind of means, things like that. So I think it was a really good meeting. People got an opportunity to ask their questions that have been on their mind related to this. So we also, in the meantime, presented our comments on the global amendment to SGRA, and it was noted in the meeting that they've been receiving comments from other municipalities or GRP participants throughout the county, and that they're going through that right now. And then I suspect probably in the next couple of months, we'll see if there's, any adjustments to the wording of the agreement. We'll see the final document, and then expect a potential vote later this year on whether or not we want to recommend to the Woodlands Division to vote yea or nay on the global.
So this inclusion of, were some of the questions or feedback that you've gotten from other MUD directors.
Correct.
Okay.
Yeah, I consolidated into kind of one document, added my own questions or comments, submitted it as one.
Okay, that's this.
Mhm.
Yeah, I'm with you. Excellent.
Anything else?
No.
23, received Woodlands Water Trustees report. Keith isn't here. It's online. So I figure we'll just go to 24.
Let me add one thing. Yeah, there was one thing I wanted to point out. I think we've talked about this agenda, all the other things that were on the trustee agenda. But one thing in particular that we haven't talked about is I had made a recommendation to the trustees to consider us requesting more surface water from the GRP. Mainly because I was seeing that other municipalities, GRP participants have been asking for a lot more water lately, to the point where I recognized that the capacity of that plant was starting to be limited, and I wanted to get in before it was too late. So the trustee board did recommend to request officially 1 MGD, 1 million gallons a day of additional surface water. As you know, our current surface water groundwater mix is about 50-50, and this additional 1 MGD would bring us to about 58% surface water. So that was all I had to add for the trustee report.
Any need to recess, Brian?
There's not.
All right. Any matters for placement on the future agenda? I think what we talked about. Anything else?
Don't have anything.
Adjournment at 12:55.